We're surrounded by mirrors that my grandfather made. The one behind me, if you see here, was actually made in 1961. I knew that this is what I wanted to do, since I was about 3, and I knew that because it came from my dad, it came from my grandfather, it came from my great-grandmother, I knew that it was going to come down to me.
My dad basically learned it from his mother in Temesvar, in what is now Romania. It used to be part of Hungary many moons ago.
I knew he wasn't going to teach me by me just asking, so I just had to pick up bits and bits and bits and bits until I could actually show him that, oh, I can do this.
One of the bedrooms was converted into a silvering room, and instead of a heating table like we had, they'd take it out in the sun.
There's no such thing as formal training in what we do here, and this is why people have said, why don't you have an apprentice? And it's like, well, there's no school for them to learn this. It's just passed down and passed down and passed down.
I think it's important to know what you can do and what you can't do. For instance, the old saying, do what you order, put your acid in the water. It's very, very vital. If you do it the other way around, you're going to blow yourself up. So it's important that you know some of those things without having to know what's the formula for silver nitrate, what's the formula for nitric acid. A lot of the things you can learn from experience, from just watching and observing and being taught by someone who knew what they were doing. She knows enough that she's going to be safe.
What my dad has taught me, I've changed it slightly to suit me, and likewise he changed it from his father, who changed it from his mother. So I think each generation brings something new to it, and it all just changes. No matter what generation, there's always just the element of magic. I like to think I am nothing like Dad whatsoever, and Dad and I clash and we fight all the time and argue. And like, I understand, he's my teacher, he's trying to teach me things, but he could do it in a less aggressive tone. But my dad, I love my dad to death, don't get me wrong, and I think he's a brilliant man, but we fight a lot. I've got goosebumps about saying something nice about Dad.
Here again, as you remember.
I have been doing this my whole life, you know. Dad hates all my tattoos, so I got that because we were always called Varga girls, my sister and I. And this one is an anchor to keep me grounded, and, well, that's what I say. And then Until I Find You is actually the name of a book that I love, which is actually about tattoos. I have a lot of mirrors. I did start off by just collecting anything to do with mirrors and glass. And now I've tried to streamline that down to only mirrors that can no longer be made anymore. I think I was born with my passion for glass. Having it all around the house growing up, having it everywhere, every story in my family always comes back to glass, comes back to the mirrors, the manufacturing of mirrors. So my love's always been there, it's always been running through my blood. So I don't think I had much of a choice but to follow in the footsteps of working with mirrors, because I think my DNA would have fought against it if I didn't. And I have tried to do other things, but I just keep coming back to it and coming back to it and back to it, because it is who I am, it's part of my makeup.
The coefficient of expansion should be exactly the same as what the glass is. And the glass
it's a skill and technology that's not taught anymore. When people want to go more and more towards mass production, no one wants handmade, no one wants to pay for handmade, no one wants the slight imperfections that come with handmade. They all want absolute perfection. There's no skill being taught in this country either. When most of the trade schools are closing down, there's a rumour that the glass trade school's closing down. There will be no one, because they don't care. They can just import it, they can get it straight away, they can have it shipped in this country within 2 days. They don't care about the skill, the art, anything like that. They don't care. I love them, and they bring light and just, and because I do collect ones that can't be made anymore as well. It's always looking at that skill and always that handmade skill that is so lost with today's generation. Because if it doesn't do it by computer, they don't care. No, well, because mirrors is everything, absolutely everything. Like, you can't even drive along without a mirror. You know, you have to have your rear vision mirrors, you have to have that. There's nothing. You couldn't have your camera here filming me without a mirror. So no, I can't. My logic brain says no, there could not be a world without mirrors, but from an aesthetic point of view, I wouldn't want a world without mirrors. Well, I'm the last silverer left, especially in my line of family. I'm the 5th generation, and all the skills has been passed down and passed down and passed down. And unfortunately, after me, there isn't anyone else. I'm the last one.